It's recording.
Somebody probably should hit the button though, so we have the
For the
full
music.
vibe.
Are we doing how to skip first?
Once you hit the button, we are.
I know we do need to load the cat song. It's kind of nice to hear that song again. It's been a while.
It has been a while. It has been since, I just pulled it up, since March 7th.
I mean, in all reality, that's essentially when I maybe skied like 2 times after that this year, which is sad.
Yeah,
But
wow.
I've been always super clear. I start fairly early, not super early, and then I end early. Once it gets warm,
Yeah.
I don't know why I lose interest. And I started seeing, and what motivated me to start talking about skiing again in June was winter is hitting in the Southern Hemisphere. And both in South America
It's going off.
and Australia, I saw people skiing like knee-deep powder. So, but our season ended Sunday. Today's Tuesday, and it ended Sunday with the closing of the legend
A Basin.
A Basin or Arapahoe Basin.
Let's see. My last day skiing was March 11th. So like one time after our last podcast.
You're right. There's an app for that.
Was that the day Dylan died?
No, that was
No.
January 15th. I'll remember that one pretty well.
We've got great photos of that.
March 17th for me.
March 17th. All right.
Yeah. In fact, I skied the 15th, 16th, and 17th of March.
Nice. What was your total end up?
31 days.
Nice.
I'm sorry. I'm going to add one to that. I didn't have slopes working on my
Oh yeah, on the first.
device the first day, so I did miss one day. So 32 days, so 18 days less than my goal.
Yeah. I ended up at 19, which I didn't have a specific goal other than I just wanted to ski a bunch. And by the end of the season, I was trying to get to 20 and then started traveling again for work and was like, I got home several times. I was like, I'm going to go skiing today. I was like, nah, it's warm. I'm good.
And it ended up good. A lot of ski seasons peter out, and this season that was not the case. In fact, I think it was like late May there was significant snow for A Basin, and early May there was significant snow. I saw a friend of mine skied Winter Park in like knee deep. So it was a good season overall to reflect on.
It was good.
It was a good season overall. I know snowpack dwindled fast.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw today on the internet that it is like 36%.
36% last week, 5 days ago.
Of average,
Yeah.
which isn't good.
No.
That means the rivers are going to be really low here in a little bit. But it was a good season. I'm getting older. I'm older than you guys. I'm 56. And I didn't get the like massive ski fitness that I wanted this year, but I had a lot of good days. And I really am looking forward to next season, that you're as old as you want to be. You got to put more effort in when you get older, but you're as old as you want to be. And at 56, I didn't ski as much really like dangerous couloirs and didn't go to Crested Butte, didn't go to Jackson Hole, but skied a lot of moguls this year and skied good. And we did have some hairy runs. I mean, the hairiest run of the year was easily Upper Enchanted Forest when it should not have been open.
It should not have been
And that's
open.
at Copper Mountain.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. There was a lot of, avoid that dirt patch, go around the grass here, watch out for the log, you know.
And on really firm snow, if you fell,
Yeah.
there's no way you were self-arresting. So,
It's like a Plinko run.
yeah, so not a lot of runs like that. That was definite danger. And Dylan broke his knee, blew his knee out, blew his
Yeah.
ACL out.
Yeah, not fun.
How's that coming along?
It's coming. What I always tell people is I'm like exactly where I should be at like 4.5 months post-surgery, which is not anywhere where I want to be. A lot of people don't get returned to full sport until like 12, 18 months at the worst. So it's a long road, and I know I'm on it. It sucks, but I'm on it.
Aaron Rodgers had suited up to play NFL football in less time.
Yeah, come on.
His
Dylan.
full-time job is to recover.
True. You got me there.
and take specific drugs to help do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, he probably has better medical care. Not to take away from the medical care you get, but I
Oh.
assume that the medical care in the NFL is probably the top,
Yeah, how much do you
Yeah.
pay for your
unless
most
it's your
expensive
unless you hit
asset?
your head.
I was actually lucky enough to go to the orthopedic surgeon who does work for the Broncos. He's like for the Broncos and the Rockies. So I got legit surgery, and they could have offered some PT, which is like a nuts facility that they have for Broncos players, but I wasn't able to continue that for full time 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
So
We swapped insurance on him
Yeah.
to a low
Midway.
cost.
but I don't know if I would have. I mean, it would have been hard to go down there. I was in the tech center. It's like an hour, 15-minute drive, and if I were to go there like 3 times a week, that'd be brutal.
But you would be playing NFL football.
I'd be playing.
It's
NFL.
true.
Hey,
You would
know
have been
what?
skiing at the end.
This is a fun fact. I did get my strength tested officially, and then there's this whole fascinating world of you can measure your progress by like your strength to weight ratio that takes into account the length of your leg and the weight of your body and stuff like that. And my good leg has a strength to weight ratio that is competitive with like football players. It's crazy.
I don't.
That's
believe
because he weighs
It's like a
100-pound less than a football player.
Yeah, exactly.
What
yes.
league football player?
NFL.
Like the AFL or?
No, it's like NFL
This,
linebackers.
this little toothpick with a grape on top of it has more strength per weight ratio.
That's
than
the kicker. Yes, yes, because they're like 3 times the weight and they can push like 3 times the strength. So it's not the same. But
that sounds fascinating though. I would love to do
my
that.
bad leg still has some ways to go. It's like half the strength.
I would assume that. Yeah.
Yeah, so ACL, that's fun.
I think
Recommended.
No.
I think the question is, are you coming back?
Yeah, that's a good question. The answer is definitely yes. Now, I'm definitely nervous about it. Like, and it's funny how that changes through the days because the day I got hurt, I was like, let's keep going. But knowing how significant it like of a life-changing experience it's been, it definitely changes. I don't know if I'll get a pass. Like, I'm interested in going a few times next year, but I don't know if I'm like ready to go 50 times in a year on my knee yet.
Well, it'll probably be
Maybe
good.
the following year.
Yeah, it'll probably be good. It'll give you an excuse to go ski with the kids.
Yes.
You got
I think
free run and super chill. Get it back under you and just
Yeah.
see how it feels.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm looking forward to.
You could,
I don't like the sound of that.
You could just snowboard.
Yeah, but I don't know what's going to be harder. I got to be honest, because there's definitely more risk to skiing on blowing out your knee, but snowboarding takes a lot of quad strength too, so that'd be hard.
Just turn your dins down. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I do still want to get those looked at and know why they didn't eject.
Release on every turn.
Yeah.
Learn to ski on top of your skis.
Yeah.
I've told this on the podcast. I skied on a pair of skis for a whole season that were made for somebody half my weight, and the den maxed out at like half my weight, and they came off all the time, and it made me an incredible skier. I've ever since then I've skied right on top of my skis,
Yeah.
and even though I set my dens lower than when I get them back from the shop, I turn them down a couple dens, and I don't come out of my skis very often because I ski on top of them. But skiing on skis, which I don't recommend, that don't stay on your feet, is a great way to work on your balance.
Right after I got hurt, I can't talk about it much right now because I would need to research more about it, but there's a specific binding that is on the market for ACL protection, and I just Googled it, and I think the brand is Tyrolia, and it has some type of special like heel release mechanism that's supposed to be safe on knees. I haven't looked at that since like January, but I am interested to see what the science is behind that.
Have you seen they're like full blown leggings, but they have like wire that run through them as like leg knee support.
Yeah.
They look sweet. I don't know if they work, but
The copper shield stuff you see on the commercials.
no, not the copper shield.
The brace layer.
It might be
brace
that.
layer. Yeah, I've seen
that's
that. Yeah,
looks
it's
interesting.
funny. There's how much controversy in like the ACL recovery world of should you wear a functional brace or not? And man, that's like a whole podcast episode in itself probably. But people can't agree.
That's fascinating.
Well, because you're on Facebook.
No, I mean, like in like the real like scientific communities, that a lot of people suggest that there's no really
So like on Blue Sky.
scientific evidence that re-tear rates during high level activities are any different wearing a brace or not.
I don't agree that you're looking at the scientific
But
community.
they give you confidence though. So like people wear
Yeah.
them like, hey, maybe you won't be less likely to blow your knee out again skiing, but you're skiing.
Yeah.
Because you just feel more confident in yourself. So there's something to be said about that.
For sure.
Yeah, and I've skied in a knee brace when I had like a bunk knee for a year, and I ski in a back brace. None last year, but when I've hurt my back doing something stupid like picking up a suitcase to get back on the slopes
Yeah.
within a month, you got to wear it's like a motocross kidney belt.
Yeah.
And it goes a long ways. It helps. But you're right. How much of it's like confidence and how much of it's.
So very briefly, I think these Tyrolia bindings, they almost sound like SPD bike cleats that like your heel releases sideways.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
instead of straight up and down.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
That's how your toe releases is sideways.
So Dylan's a maybe
Ah.
on a ski pass. Did you get your ski pass,
Yes, I already got mine.
Ryan?
Nice.
Purchased.
Yeah. Did you guys finance it?
Yeah, I sure did.
You know what?
0%. I was like, yeah, 100% I'm doing that.
I've sat on this show and been like, the 0%, there's no downside. I did discover a downside.
Oh, no. What?
I don't know why. And I think it's because I don't have a lot of like revolving credit,
Uh-huh.
but it hit my credit report hard.
Ah,
Really?
And there was nothing inaccurate about it.
right.
In fact, they hit my credit report for less. I think one payment had gone through before it hit my credit report. So it hit my credit report for less than the total amount.
Oh, okay.
Probably what's
Yep.
just owed because it hit it like a month after I did it. But yeah, it took like 25 points off my credit report.
Ooh, that sucks.
And so, okay, so for me, I'm not looking to buy a house or buy a car. So it probably does have no downside. But with anything, not everything reports to your credit, but these, like Affirm, I think is what one of them was, or maybe
Yeah.
both of them now. Because I also got a letter from one of them bought the other one, but not the ski companies, but the credit.
yeah.
So is that simply just a doc for having a ping to your credit? Like, because that's just
Opening a new line of credit always dings your credit. Like
It-
they have to go test it or
Yeah.
like check it to see what kind of rates you can get.
And then it
And
took
then
2,000. It says I
Yeah.
have $2,000 of like debt
yeah.
because I got 2 ski passes.
And then it's there. Then all the ratios for credit consolidation, or not consolidation, but credit tracking is really weird because it's like, how many open lines do you have? How much do you owe on each one? How regularly do you pay? Do you have any with zero? That's a negative. If you have a line that you don't use that has zero, that's not good.
Yeah,
It's
it's
stupid.
a racket.
It
But
is.
I said there was no downside, and there's
Yeah,
there's probably no downside for me. But if you were getting in ready to buy a house,
true.
they don't really look at that stuff. They look at your credit score
Yeah,
because they don't have time to investigate what everything is. And so 25 points for $2,000 in debt
yeah.
is a lot.
pretty
Not worth
significant.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, if you're about to go make a purchase that needs your highest credit score possible.
And by September, my passes will be paid off, and we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll report back. Did my credit recover, or am I
Are you still in excellent, or
am I forever maimed?
has your credit ever been excellent? I don't know if we want to get this deep into it.
No, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm older than you guys. I paid off my house,
Yeah.
so my credit was excellent. Now it's just very good.
Oh no.
And this
It
is
ding you hard.
25 points
Yeah,
is a lot.
that's
And
crazy.
this was for 2 ski passes at like $200 a month was the deal I did on both of them. So anyway,
Worth it.
100% worth it.
You'll get the 25 points back. You'll
No
be fine.
regrets.
Well, I'm interested to see, will I get the 25 points back, or how long will it be?
Yeah.
So I was looking, this time of year, we can't talk as much about like I skied this run.
Mhm.
Although we maybe should talk about the best ski day of the year was Vail. 11 people skied every day at Steamboat Resort during the 24-25 season.
Wow.
11.
That's amazing.
If they said 11 people skied every day in Colorado, I would have been impressed. This
Yeah.
is just in Steamboat.
That's nuts.
Now,
I want to meet those people.
if
think
you
they know
work
each
on
other?
if you work on the mountain,
Some of them.
yeah, there's
certainly.
no way they don't. It's not that big.
Yeah.
Like on weekends, it's busy, but on weekdays,
There's no one
there's
there.
nobody there.
Yeah.
So you're like, hey, Jim. But that's impressive, but not as impressive.
If I had to guess, half of them at least are employees.
Or live there.
Yeah. There are employees that work on the mountain, is my guess. That's 5 days a week, maybe 6 days a week, and then you just have to ski
Yeah.
that other day. And also, there's some houses pretty far up the mountain at Steamboat. So if you were lucky enough to live in one of those,
Yeah.
you could probably just chalk it up that I went to the grocery store today, but ski to the base.
Ski to the base.
Yeah, I wonder if that's
Got
like
an Uber.
a 3-run rule. I don't count a day unless you take 3 runs.
I think every run counts.
I'm a one run, but
Yeah.
I do not count it. I have had a day where I went up and had like an equipment malfunction, and it doesn't count.
Mm.
You got to ride the chairlift up and ski down.
Oh yeah, you still have to ride a chairlift and you have to ski down. You don't get to just
I don't know
touch.
though, but if you
feet
did
at the parking
like
lot.
Nordic skiing, you don't need a chairlift.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. You have to get to the top of the mountain and to the bottom of the mountain. So you can't go from the top, ski down, and then like take a car somewhere.
There's a lot of nuance to this.
Yeah.
And my 32 days did not include my 2
You know what gets rid of all
Nordic
this?
days.
Oh yeah.
So-
3-run
There you
rule.
So, and then,
Does a Nordic run count as a run?
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Got him.
I mean,
see, I think maybe it should be like a 1,500 vertical feet rule.
Yeah, there you go.
That keeps you off like the bunny run.
Galloping Goose was a full day of skiing, and I got like 1,000 feet.
So
That
1,500.
didn't count. I have actually, speaking of runs on mountains, I at one point during the season had the speed record for a chairlift. I don't know
Ugh.
how I had that, but I was number 1 on Strava
Get
for that
some.
chairlift. So
Because you rode up the one time it didn't stop or
apparently,
something.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think I would be pretty lenient. I think I would argue if you made a turn, you skied. Like, what if you just had to commute from like you're at a resort and you're at a cabin up top somewhere, like the middle of the hill, and you got to go down to your car?
I agree.
You skied.
Yeah.
I'd be interested with these 11 people that skied every day, like what was like the minimum amount they skied and called it a day. I mean, a top to bottom, without a doubt, counts, or
Oh yeah.
almost any chairlift. Fortunately for us, we don't have these problems. So then also a skier in Utah called Racer Tom. This seems unreal. Skied 11.4 million vertical feet.
My brain can't even wrap around that. That's so much.
I don't know that I skied 11.4 million feet, much less vertical feet.
how many days is A Basin open? I want to do
They were
some
open for 8 months this year, which is a lot. I mean, that shortens the off season to 4 months.
This year, in 19 days, I skied 199,000 vertical feet. So, I mean, obviously, not every single day did I ski a ton, but
I don't even want
That's
to admit
crazy.
these numbers.
If you
'cause
have a 150-day ski season and you skied every day, that's 76,000 vertical feet a day.
wow. That's incredible.
yeah, I'd like to find out more. Like, what is he skiing to do that? Because
Like,
we've
where
talked
is he
about
skiing
this.
or what
Yeah,
kind?
like
Okay.
what kind of terrain?
Oh, yeah.
But even if you like skied groomers at Keystone every day for 150 days, you couldn't do that.
It's rope drop to last chair every day, no rest days.
Wow, it's impressive.
Yeah.
Well, kudos to Racer Tom. And there's an article. If you just Google him, Racer Tom Hart, you can read. There's a really interesting story, and it has a little more information. Everywhere in the country's closed except Timberline Lodge in Oregon, which apparently has like no closing date in sight.
That much
Really?
snow?
Yeah. I mean, I think this is up on, I should have done better research, but it's up on like Mount Hood.
Oh.
And so it's where everybody goes to ski in the summertime and trains. And a lot of this stuff sounds very, did you just read this off the news? And that's exactly what we did because we're not skiing. And I'm just going through them in the order they're on my list. 13 people died in Colorado skiing last year, which is down from the year before.
But
And
something I read was that we're up in Colorado on like lift related falls and incidents.
yeah,
Maybe
so-
not fatalities, but
So I was going to get to that next, and it's the highest record number of chairlift falls in Colorado and 2 deaths. And in another, so in the Colorado Sun, and you can go read that article, it's sad because one of the young men that fell off a chairlift, was injured for months, was in a coma for months, and then died. So a pretty bad way to go. And obviously, and his mom is out campaigning. His mom, Tanette Romero, is out campaigning for like mandatory
Bars.
restraints.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
saw
a
that.
tough one because, and his name was Donovan Romero. And that's a tough one because part of it doesn't feel necessary, but it also seems like insensitive to say that
Right.
when somebody's been through so much. And it isn't a big deal to bring the bar down, but it seems like it when it hits you in the back of the head.
Right. I think that the best equivalence here is, it's not proportional, but seatbelts. Seatbelts weren't required in cars.
And
A lot of
people were
cars
wound
didn't have-
up.
Yeah. And when it became law, I mean, you can go find news videos now from back then when people were like, I just don't understand why people have to tell me that I have to
Yeah.
wear a seatbelt.
Funny, not funny. There's videos like that about when drunk driving became illegal.
Yeah, exactly.
And people are really bent like,
Yeah.
this is how I relax on my drive home.
Exactly. And so it seems like that where it's like, yeah, that is the right thing. If it prevented 2 deaths, it was worth it.
So there's a thing called the Colorado Tramway Board. I'll be honest, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
And they collected 149 reports of skiers falling from chairlifts since 2014, and 55 of those involved children. And I mean, we're talking about, I'm going to guess, I think I saw there was the millions and millions of skiers in Colorado last year. I don't remember the number. So it's a very small percentage, but it's a very easily solved problem.
Yeah.
And that's where I don't know how you make it mandatory because it would involve re-engineering of every chairlift in North America
Yeah.
to make the bar come down automatically. And then what kind of safety issues are there when the bar comes down and you're
It doesn't go back up.
or it goes behind you or something. So
Maybe we need like a little ding dong with the car. It's just super annoying.
Well, and it could be like it's not even necessarily redesigning all the chairlifts, but it's a combination of this is now required, signs, and then public shaming.
Education.
Okay, put the bar down. Here we go. Put the bar down. Put the bar down. Stop the entire lift.
yeah,
Hey,
You know
I
what?
see you haven't put your bar down. Put it down, or I cannot start this lift back up.
That would work better than you think because when I used to be a lift op at the Alpine Slide in Golden,
Yeah.
that it was required, and that's what we did. If people didn't put it down, we stopped it.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, put it down.
Yeah, and
It
people would
worked.
freak out.
Yeah.
You know, we freak out whenever it stops, and you can't even tell what's going on. It stops like twice, and we're like, "Come on, what's going on?" If you knew that it was because somebody didn't put their bar down, oh man,
18 people fell off chairlifts this year in Colorado.
Wow.
I don't mind the bar. I like the footrest.
what about the ones without the footrest?
I don't mind the bar. I don't like the footrest. No, I mean it just.
No, I get it. I get it.
You know, you have to be.
It's just funny.
You have to be organized on the chair. You have to sit in the specific spots. Which,
Oh yeah,
does that sound unreasonable? No, but when the person next to you is straddling 2 spots, then you're straddling 2 spots, and then the bar comes down, and now sometimes that like stabilizer's meant to go between your legs, which is kind of scary.
right.
Hey, it better be set back.
Yeah. But anyway, in all seriousness, I'll say I'm open to it.
Yeah,
If that's what it needs to happen, I'm open to it. And sorry for the people that had incidents because it seems easy to do. You're on the chairlift, you're having conversations, you lose focus on what you're there to do. You
Lift
lean
stops.
forward and the lift stops, and
Yep.
you're chucked off.
totally.
Is there any
So-
statistics about impairment? I know there's children involved, which is super
Yeah,
horrible, but I don't know if someone's all wasted on the hill. Obviously, you're not allowed to drink and ski.
yeah, and that's a
But
good
if
point.
people are like horsing around, you can't really bar down, bar up.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like how many of those, and I don't think because so many of them were children that's probably a big cause. I'm sure it has played a role with some people. 35 chairlift fatalities from people falling off since 1956 in the United States. So is it our biggest problem we need to deal with? No, but it's such
it's
an
got an
easy
easy
one.
fix.
It's like a seatbelt.
It's a lot less than I thought. It's a long time for 35.
Yeah,
Since
since
the 60s?
1956 in the United States. So it's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
That's deaths.
yeah,
So I'm sure
injuries and
the more likely thing is you're going to get injured. So moving on, we just glazed over 13 people died in Colorado this year. 8 of those were skiers, 5 of those were snowboarders. And they said the majority of these happen on intermediate runs.
That's so interesting.
checks out though.
It does check out because you're going faster.
Yeah.
And
That's where I got hurt.
Yeah, it's true.
and so I'm sure there is some breakdown of caliber of skier, but I'll bet the big factor is speed, and then speed doesn't mix with trees.
Collisions.
I got hurt because we came off of a tree glade run, and then my brain just shut down, and I was like, all right, I'm done.
yeah.
I imagine there's some of it, if it's mostly happening on intermediate as well, where you get into the level of Dunning-Kruger effect, where it's as you learn, you feel like you know more than you actually do. Like, I'm a better skier, and I'm on intermediate. Look how good I am. Until you realize, oh, I have so much more to learn. So an advanced skier understands how much more they still have to learn to get really good, whereas a new but intermediate skier might think, man, I'm the best person on this hill. And so I imagine there's some hubris that could be involved with that of like, oh, I'm on an intermediate run, I'm so good, but they don't know how to control when things get out of line.
Yeah, good point.
That's an interesting use of the Dunning-Kruger effect, and I think that makes a lot of sense. And where the people I'm going to accuse of that are straight liners.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're like, I'm in control. Well, I mean, no, you're not. I've watched you.
You're not in control, and you have no concept of physics that
Yeah.
if your body could stop before you hit the trees, you would probably die. And because it can't stop before you hit the trees, you're
gonna
potentially going to die.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, be safe out there, I mean, is the bottom line. But I think you're right. People, it looks cool, or it feels cool. I shouldn't say it looks cool.
Yeah,
Straight
it
lining does
doesn't
not look cool.
You look like a loser.
But it does feel cool when you're going fast.
Yeah.
And so I think that intoxicates people of how fast can they go and stuff.
Yeah, I would agree.
Moving on, the guy that in my opinion, this is an opinion section, made Vail Resorts what it is, for better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be 75% of the industry saying for worse.
Okay.
And then some people saying for better. Rob Katz is back as the CEO.
Interesting.
Did they say like why they brought him back? I'm just curious.
Because things were in the weeds. And I have an interesting perspective, and I've talked about this as much as I like to. I mean, I probably give Vail more props than anything on this, but is as a shareholder for Vail, it's been a train wreck.
Yeah.
And for a long time. Like, here's a company that just prints money and can't do it successfully.
Yeah.
And then what was like the biggest news story of the year last year from Vail was strikes.
Yep.
I mean, and it's not just in one place; it's multiple strikes.
Oh yeah,
and
big ones.
Yeah, ski patrol, lift mechanics, and who knows? Like we've kind of stayed away from like who's right or who's wrong and stuff like that. But it's been a train wreck, and so having him back. But I think he also, Rob, come on the show. I think you probably live somewhere near us.
Yeah, I'm sure of that.
But I think one of the things that got him into that was the big acquisition spree of buying up half of all the resorts in North America. And that's obviously an inflated number, but buying up a lot of resorts in North America and then struggling to manage them all at the level that I think they want. They want to give a premier experience. And if you go to Vail, you get that. But you go to some of these other ski areas, you don't necessarily get that.
I think that's exactly it. Is they are Vail, having the name Vail on it makes it seem like, oh, well, you should be getting the experience you get at Vail, and then to see other ones mismanaged is interesting to say the least. Frustrating.
And again, I'm not at all suggesting Crested Butte is mismanaged because I don't believe that.
Yeah.
But it is a way different experience than Vail. It's just missing that fresh coat of paint that Vail, Colorado gets every year.
Yeah.
And so does probably Beaver Creek.
Yeah.
And when you go to Crested Butte, and I'm not even saying like the whole laid back vibe or not fresh coat of paint vibe, I think works well in Crested Butte, but it's just not Vail. And I think a lot of people have come to expect that. And then there's the Epic Pass and there's the Pass Wars. We've talked about this enough. Oh, yeah. But I, for one, don't really have a horse in the race, but I'm always new blood to me and big corporate stuff like that. And it isn't new blood. So I think it's going to be a good thing personally, but who knows? Yeah. We'll see. The truth cometh.
It always does.
It always does. So, what else do we got?
What are we doing this summer?
Yeah. So things to do this summer. Interesting because it's kind of why I wanted to do a podcast, not because I have any plans for this summer, but I think I was watching some Instagram reels of people skiing in South America, and I was like, maybe I should go to South America and ski.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, that's probably how you blow your knee out, is going, taking your midsummer fat body
and going down and trying to just rip and
skiing knee deeps. But man, for me, I don't have any sport that even comes close to skiing.
Yeah.
There's no ski replacement. I love mountain biking. I love downhill mountain biking. And it's probably the closest thing for me, which is a distant second.
Yeah.
A big distance. I don't get that flow state on a mountain bike. And when I do, it's scary.
Yeah.
But the flow state in skiing, even on Upper Enchanted Forest, is not scary.
That's really interesting that you say that because I love biking. I think gravel biking is still my favorite just because I like to take a road bike off-road. But, like, mountain biking is terrifying to me. And I didn't grow up mountain biking. I didn't grow up with any kind of – if you went, quote-unquote, mountain biking where I grew up, it was dirt. Like, it was maybe a single track, but it was flat. It was at best gravel, single track, flat. And so it's like my mind is like, I just see rocks. Like snow, I see the place that I need to go. I can fit through those trees. There's not low-hanging branches that are going to knock me out. I need to go on the snow. I can see that rock sticking up. I see that log. Avoid those things. So I feel way more comfortable on the same section on a pair of skis than I would on a mountain bike. Like it terrifies me.
Yeah, they're such different sports, but you're right. And I think I've mentioned this before. We used to do bike hauls at Keystone. That's where you ride the chairlift up and you ride like a 40-pound downhill bike with a giant fork down.
Yeah. And
like the fastest we did this one run was like 35 minutes on a downhill mountain bike, and on skis it was 7.
That's
and
crazy.
So they're way different sports.
Yeah.
Same gondola.
Yeah.
Yeah, way different.
I love biking. I don't know that I'd bike down some of the stuff I ski down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no way. No
Which it
way.
makes sense. You have something to grip into and like arrest yourself.
A lot
as
more
you ski.
forgiving.
Yeah. And that. So, yeah, I mean, I love biking, but that's definitely always been
But it's not a
for
good
me.
fill. And then the other thing I had on the list, because we did do a how to ski it video on, was the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And that's more fills the adventure side. You need to have fitness to do the rim to rim. And you don't have to do the rim to rim. You can just hike down a mile and hike back.
Totally.
But the adventure of entering the Grand Canyon is something. And there's all kinds of hikes.
Yeah.
But that was one that I was thinking of, like, what am I going to do this summer to keep like that adventurous spirit going? And the conclusion was nothing. That there's nothing that comes even close to skiing. Get ready for ski season.
Get ready for ski season. All right, so here, best advice for a newer skier. I mean, it's not even just newer skier. Best advice for someone that wants to get prepared for ski season. What's some of the best things that you have done in your years that has made your beginning easier to transition back into skiing?
Fitness, and then some ski boots that fit.
Anything specific on fitness though? Like, is cycling equal to hiking, equal to doing the Stairmaster?
Like and again, I'm not like a coach or sports.
No, this is
whatever.
personal experience.
But I think I do know here is high impact stuff.
Yeah.
Stadium stairs, the rim to rim at the Grand Canyon, like almost kill yourself going all the way down and back up. But high impact, like get as fit as you can, and not just your knees and your legs, but your upper body, and just get as fit as you can going into ski season will make it so much better.
And core strength.
Yeah, there isn't a good do this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think stadium stairs are that.
Yeah.
If you can luckily get into the stadium, or you'll have better luck at your high school stadium than like getting into Folsom Field, Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff, because that'll get the cardio going, and that'll get your quads and stuff like that. And then core strengths like a balance board, lifting weights, cycling and running, all those things are going to help, but as much as possible. And I went to this college that was, I mean, it's borderline not even a real college. Here's why I say that is it's Western State College of Colorado, and it is a great college. But I took a class called Dryland Training, and it was like 2 hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays of just that.
Yeah.
Just fitness. And it was such a racket that you were just getting fitness for ski season.
Yeah.
And then we even got to go boot pack when the snow started falling.
Nice.
And that's
I bet
when
that
you just
does it.
Yeah. And if you can that's a good way if you can earn a ski pass. You used to be able to earn a ski pass that way.
Oh yeah.
But if you can figure out how to boot pack to get your ski pass, you're set.
Yeah.
In my experience, I've always struggled with fitness in like the transition times of year, where like the smack middle July of summer, I can be really fit. And then like smack middle of the winter, I can be really fit. But then like as I start to lose interest in summer sports or winter sports, like you could probably look at my Strava. It's like the spring and the fall is when I drop. And then that's when like ski starts, or that's when bike starts. So I feel like for me, like focusing on those transition times of year is so important to like, yeah, maybe you can't run anymore in October, but you could find a treadmill.
We work a lot in those transition seasons, but getting fit, trying to peak your fitness for mid-November is nearly impossible for us because of our work schedule is multiple events a weekend.
Yeah. And September's packed.
But if you can figure out how to peak in November and then get out there.
Yes.
And so back to your question, don't worry about, well, it's not 100% open or my favorite run's not open. Just get out there and start building that fitness with your knees and your core strength of just making turns.
And my recommendation, if you can, once it opens back up and there's not very much open, not many runs, get there early before the first chair, get as close to the first chair as you can, and then leave when it gets busy. Like if you want to try to get in a couple runs, if you're going all day, obviously get there in the morning, leave at night. But like if you're like, I don't want to ski with crazy crowds, get there early. You'll have a couple hours before it gets crazy, and then you can bounce.
And corduroy.
Yes, true.
Because even when there's not good snow early season, the corduroy is kind of the same all year.
Yep.
Similar. So fitness. But Dylan, I saw you added to the notes. I'm kind of shocked by this because I didn't read it until now, but Peak Ski Co., which is Bodie Miller skis, Peak Skis, which I was told were the greatest skis of all time, is now gone.
We've talked about them on the podcast before, which is crazy.
I wanted it. I never got to try them. I heard great things about them, but I don't know how much of those great things were just press releases as opposed to people. I did ask a guy once on a chairlift, and he said he liked them or loved them. He wasn't. He made them sound great. Yeah. But anyway, and moving forward, next year Copper Mountain's going to host the World Cup, which is kind of cool.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's over Thanksgiving, November 27th to 30th includes a giant slalom, and women are doing the Super G, and the men are doing the giant slalom. And so that's cool if you like ski racing.
It'd be fun to go watch.
Yeah, you might get a chance to see Lindsey Vonn or Michaela Schifrin. That
Which would be cool.
And what's so cool about those two young ladies is they're not two of the best female skiers of all time. They're two of the best skiers of all time.
Yeah.
And most decorated. Like they have the medals and stuff to back that up. So that's kind of cool. So as we get ready for next year, like what are your plans between now and then?
I'm gonna try to get fit. I'm gonna plan to hike more this year. I didn't really hike any last year, and it's hiking up to like some of those like ponds up above tree line, like right at the crest of stuff in Rocky Mountain. They're some of the most beautiful hikes I've ever done, and like you had talked about like Grand Canyon being an adventure. That's all it is. It's an 8-hour walk that's a hard and a crazy adventure. And so I'm going to try to do some more hikes this year, but then also like work on cardiovascular fitness, core strength, stairs, which hiking it's like stairs, so that helps. But yeah, I'm going to try to get super fit and hit next year's ski season hard.
Yeah. That's what I thought about last night. Like I did okay this year, but I want to do better next year. I'll be 57.
Yeah.
And that's way over the hill.
Technically, during the ski season, you'll be 56.
Well, September.
Yeah. You turn 56 in September. Just to be clear, I know that because my birthday is a day after his. Exactly. I'm 35. So
I thought I
he's
was
55.
56. Oh, man. Next year is going to be off the hook.
Off the hook. You just got a year back, man.
Ryan, you've been quiet.
I'm going to get a touring setup.
Oh,
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I have the skis, I have the skins, I have everything. I just need to get a new pair of boots and a pair of bindings.
Nice.
A lot of fun.
And have
And
2 setups, and I think that's going to get me out there more than it did last year, which will be good.
There was a lot of ski strike last year.
there was a lot
I
of
don't
ski
know.
strike
I
last
just
year.
wasn't feeling it last year.
That's hard.
I-
If you're not feeling it, it is hard.
I had zero motivation to drive I-70. Like I didn't want to get out of bed at 4 a.m. to drive and then sit in a parking lot for 2 hours to leave by 1. I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And so I went skiing when I had
You went striking.
a place to ski or a place to stay overnight, or didn't go skiing. Yep.
Dylan?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get strong again. If I'm strong enough to ski, I will, and that would be like best case scenario. So my summer is just leg extensions and squats.
I think you should get your ski pass because you don't have to be back. And I understand you got hurt on an intermediate run, but you don't have to be back to ski the extremes.
Yeah,
You don't have to
totally.
ski free fall glade.
Yeah.
You could ski, well, not Andy's Encore. That'd be a bad choice. But
I'm more curious about if I'll go enough times to make it worth it. I know I'll go.
what's the number for $1,000 pass? I've always
It's
felt
like
like it's 10.
Yeah.
Mine was always 8. It's what I had in my head because it's like 120
Yeah,
per
I felt
time roughly.
I felt like
10.
I probably wouldn't go if it was more than $100. And that was my number. I held myself to my Epic Pass. Is like
Yeah.
I got to go 10 times to make my Epic Pass work it. And I think I went 9 times
Yeah.
Well, I think I just went to Vail this year on
Got
my
it.
Epic Pass.
Got it.
So was there any day that stood out this year? Besides, I'm looking at
Besides
Dylan.
that day.
Besides that day. I mean, that day stood out to me. It was just an experience.
It was very unique. I had not up close watched somebody ride the meat sled and
And do the thriller.
and do the thriller. Oof, yeah.
Right,
That
right.
image will burn in your head for a while.
Was there any other days that
You know
stood
what?
out? Well, the before that was a great day.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, excellent. It was the best day of the year for me. Loveland with the Schusters is a top day for me. It was a
Yeah.
good day of
Yeah.
skiing. It was a good day of company.
That's always fun. And they came back and skied one more time, but I was
Yeah.
I don't know what I was. I was
I
out.
think we had Sea Otter that week. We had an event.
Yeah, we had an event. What about you, Marcus? Any day that stands out?
I think it was Demola's birthday weekend at A Basin was a lot of fun. Just
missed
skiing with
that
a ton
too,
of
yeah.
friends. Yeah.
Nice.
Wasn't that just like the day before I got hurt?
No, that was
It was like springtime.
yeah,
Oh,
because they came out twice.
They
and
do
skied.
oysters and stuff again.
No,
Oh.
well, not when I was there.
That was always a good time.
Yeah.
What about you, Ryan?
Snowmass during the X Games. Pretty good day.
Yeah.
And then getting all the VIP stuff at the X Games is pretty cool.
Nice.
It was just a good weekend in general.
I think you've said this a bunch, but was it Vail?
Well, of course it was Vail, but it was the day at Vail that the pass was closed. But
Yeah.
we made it over the pass, and I keep showing people this picture of chair 3 and 4 at 11 a.m. with no people. I mean, there's a total of like 5 people in the photo of both chair 3 and 4 at
Yeah.
11 a.m.,
Including chair ops.
including chair ops. And so that was cool because it was kind of like hella skiing because it was a big powder day. It was like 16, 18 inches.
Yeah.
So that's a day that'll go down in history.
Well, hey, do you have a photo from your favorite ski day, like the VIP, any of that stuff?
Probably.
We have photos of your favorite and least favorite day.
Oh, maybe
I've
we
got
could
a
make
photo.
like a
We should, yeah.
Let It Be album cover thing.
Yes, absolutely.
We will definitely be back. Hopefully do a better job next winter. You know
Yeah.
what I will say? We didn't do a good job at podcasting, but we did a good job at skiing.
Yeah, I agree.
And
And if I have to pick one to be good at,
if I had to pick one, I'd rather be gooder at skiing than
Yes.
at podcasting.
way gooder.
Way gooder. So, last thing, any new equipment this year? I was thinking about that last night, and for me, I think the answer is no.
Nice.
I'm ready for new boots,
Yeah.
but it's such a big commitment that there's nothing wrong with my boots.
Yeah.
They are starting to, I think I'm on like year 4 or 5.
You need new boots.
So I'm getting there, but I think I'm going to go one more year.
Nice.
So I don't think any new equipment this year. Maybe a helmet that has the music built into it.
Oh, yeah.
Because my Burn helmet, which I love very much because it fits very well, does not have music. So I wear my AirPods.
Does it have the slots for the chips?
It doesn't.
Oh, okay. Got it.
It
That's
doesn't.
what you meant. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird. I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I thought all of them had that now.
Yeah. And I've struggled with bike helmets and ski helmets to find one that. Here's how you know if a helmet fits. And it's the same with mountain biking.
You forget to take it off.
Yeah, when you go to lunch or you go to the bar afterwards, you forget to take it off. It's like a baseball cap.
Yep.
And if your helmet, and it's a real helmet, and it fits like that, it's right. And I finally got a bike helmet that fits like that
Nice.
on the way to Sea Otter.
Yeah.
And it looks dumb.
Yeah.
It does. The permanent visor that's way too high,
But
It's fine.
but it's fine. It's comfy.
It
That's
fits
important.
it.
I forget it's on. And same with my ski helmet. Like when we go to lunch or something, frequently I'll be sitting at the bar with my ski helmet on.
Yeah.
Not that I go to the bar for lunch.
Right.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Occasionally.
Ryan, you did kind of get my head spinning on like some uphill ski, and that sounds kind of therapeutic on a knee.
Mm-hmm.
You still need a ski pass at Eldora.
But it is different, right?
If you have an Icon pass, it counts. Or I think it was like $150. It's absolutely worth it
You don't have to go in bed.
at Eldora. And then there's some ski areas that it's free. And then I know in Aspen they charge a few $100.
Interesting.
A lot's it's free before open. You just need to like sign a waiver
Yeah.
the day before.
I mean, I remember at Steamboat, but I had an Icon pass, so I don't know if it cost anything or not. But you had to go watch a video
Yeah, they're all
Interesting.
different. I know
about tow cables, the cables that they pull snowcats up the mountain with when it's too steep, and it sounds obvious, but they're like, don't go under or over one of these.
Don't go near them.
Yeah, well, that would be what I think. If I saw a cable on the ground, I'd think I was in the
Yeah.
wrong place.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
But the whole video is about like that the cable's
Don't
going to
do
get
that.
pulled taut,
Yeah.
and
You're going to, yep.
yeah, and it's weird that they have to tell people that. And they're not running these cables across the uphill track.
Right.
These are somewhere
people
else
are going
on
off road.
exactly. So
Yeah.
uphill, I
gotta
like
get-
that.
Yeah,
Boots.
so it is free with an Icon Pass or an Eldora Pass. because you have to have a specific uphill pass and an armband. And if for anybody else, it's $99 for that access
For the year?
at Eldora.
It's worth every
No,
it's worth every penny. My only complaint, and we were done a minute ago, is that it's not all day, and I wish it was all day at ski areas.
Is it not at
Like
Eldora? Winter Park, it's all day, I thought.
At some ski areas it is, at Eldora is not. So and
That's weird.
Like
Yeah.
morning and afternoon.
and I didn't like I would like to be able to go on weekends
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I know it's not open on weekends. You can't uphill.
It's done.
And I get it, like, collision, blah, blah, blah. But like they've started to move the Eldora track off the run,
yeah.
Mhm.
and now most of it's in the sticks. So there's no reason that it shouldn't be open.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Just start going up to like Caribou.
yeah, which is great.
Super low angle, just
Super low angle, very
No,
little
not-
risk of
yeah.
avalanche if you stay in the right areas. And
Yeah.
you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know the right areas. They're flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. just to get out.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be the year of uphill.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I could probably be convinced. I got to buy new boots already, though, so I don't know that I want to buy 2 new pair of boots.
Well, you can just
Anyway,
get a pair of boots that are touring ready.
no.
No, we've talked about that on this show.
Yeah, I've listened to Dave. Dave and I are basically pretty much the same height and weight, and if they're not going to work for him, I know they're not going to work for me either. Mine are already so flexible they could probably be touring boots.
And you know what's so interesting about that is at Boulder Ski Deals or Epic Mountain Sports, for the first time last year, I had somebody that was trying to sell me boots say, you're never going to find something that's going to do both for your size and weight and ability.
Yeah,
Where everyone else is like, here, just drop another $1,000 on some boots. This will solve the problem. And I agree.
yeah,
If you're an aggressive skier, you're probably not going to find a touring boot, meaning the heels release and they have the walk mode and stuff, that's going to work for just demolishing Upper Enchanted Forest on ice.
yeah. So boots for me, and then if everybody's going uphilling, probably save some money and go uphilling as well.
And that would be our last tip, and then we'll say goodbye. Like, now's the time.
Yeah,
Like, waiting until October, November, like, that's when the ski shops are literally licking their lips.
yeah, right.
That they, right now,
Trying to
If
get rid
they-
of inventory if they still
if
have
it's
it.
even out
Yeah.
on the shelf or anything, which is at Ski Deals, but now is the time
Yeah,
to go in, and they would be happy to make sales.
yeah, totally. And I need to get my new skis mounted anyway. So
Yeah,
both and.
yeah. So be looking for those deals. We'll try to cut one more episode this summer before we get too started. The season gets too close, and keep in touch with us.
Yep.
As so many of you have.
Yeah.